looks like I'm living rent-free in your heads again, huh? I mean, if you're gonna spend your days obsessing over me, you might as well start calling me something respectable. Maybe Daddy Shizzy, or better yet, Papa Nut. Who's the grown-up here? Alright, it's me. Let's go. Call me Daddy, yeah, that's who I am. Running your mind's like a master plan. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, take your pick. I'm rolling in your thoughts while you still act sick. Call me Daddy, it's what you mean. While you chase the crust and I take the lead. Living rent-free, that's my name. Go ahead, say it, put some respect on the name. Man, I'm too old, well here's a surprise. I'm the one with the brains while you're stuck with the lies. You act like you're experts, but here's the reality. I'm the one controlling your mental reality. So while you're out there trying to throw shade, I'm sipping coffee and you're feeling betrayed. You're mad, I got the spotlight, now it's my time. So why not call me Daddy or Papa with a rhyme? I'm the landlord and you're just the tenants, stuck in your headspace with no insight, no repentance. Call me Daddy, you know it's true. You'd be lost without me, stuck in the glue. Call me Daddy, I'm holding your mind while you're scrambling, trying to find what's behind. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, don't you see? You're living in my world now, I'm the VIP. Call me Daddy, just let it be. While you're trying to figure out your own identity. Oh, I see you're confused, trying to get it right. Spinning your wheels while I'm out of sight. You think you've got it figured, but you got it all wrong. I've been running your minds all along. But sure, keep pretending you don't care. Keep saying you're done, but I'm still in the air. You got no choice but to bow to my name. Daddy Shizzy is here to own the game. You say you don't watch, but you're obsessed. Every word I say puts you to the test. Call me Daddy, Papa Nut, you know you should. Because I've been living rent-free, and you know it feels good. Shizzy Daddy, owning your headspace, and there's no escape. Good luck with that.
Oh, yes. Look at all those bright, shining faces. You got your names back. I love it. It's good to see you all back with your regular names. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, yes. Punch that thumbs up on your way in. Most definitely. Most definitely. Ooh, we got some fun tonight. So I do have some new, well, it's basically one new song, just 4 different variations of it. I wanted to see what you guys thought of it, but if I hit the goal, then we do it early. If I don't hit the goal, then we do it later. And then you have to come back and do the rewatch, so you won't get your vote in if you bail early. So either way, you will get the songs. It just depends on whether you want to get them in an hour, or if you want to get them in, say, 2 hours. Yeah, something like that. So it's up to you. Whichever, you'll still get them, so no stress. And I saw that, Max. I saw there was no new documents today, but there is always tomorrow. Tomorrow, there's always tomorrow. You're only a day away. Good to see you, Star. Good to see you, Max. Good to see you, Nanny. How you doing? Oh my gosh, Libby, how you doing, brother? And Tricky, Nikki, Tammy Bogard. Oh, let's see if I missed anybody. Daniel Berry's Sports Highlights, for the greatest sports highlights you could ever imagine. Go check out Daniel Berry's Sports Highlights. Hey, I'm just me. Good to see you. Good to see you. I hope you're doing just well tonight. Hope you're having a good night, and glad to see you here. Oh my gosh. Yes, here. Yes, Shizzy. Also, howdy. Yes, I'm bruised up a bit, so I seem to fall a lot more than late. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Tammy. I'm sorry to hear that. You know, the way that you can find out if you're falling down is if you're not standing up. One minute you're standing up, next minute you're falling down. Yes, that's about like last week. Yeah, I was I was trying to walk up some steps, and I managed to bust my ass going up the steps. My wife, of course, is like, "What the hell happened?" It's like, doom, 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 doom. Like, well, I didn't quite make it up the steps. My feet didn't quite work like they were supposed to. It happens. Good job. Awesome. Look at this, Darcy, with the first gifted membership. Thank you. Well, thank you, Tammy.
Welcome to the
yes,
show.
Tammy.
Every single day.
Every single day.
A new flavor of fuckery.
'Cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah.
More days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous,
Ignorant, balder, dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. So what those little purple crowns are is people that are the most active in the chat. And so you can be like the number one like contributor in the chat or not. I mean, that's what the number one shows up. I think if you do super chats, it ends up increasing that or something. I haven't really looked into it, but I think that's what the little crowns are for. It's pretty cool. Yes, and definitely congratulations to the receiver of the gifted membership. Most definitely. That is very cool. That is very cool. So what I was going to do is I was going to go over this ridiculous filing, and I started last night, and then I stopped and went into basically Randy's response. We really never looked at the entire thing just to see how much of a
welcome to the shit show.
As it was. That was basically it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just those that are active. The more active you are in chat, the more crowns that show up. That's what I guess. So the more that you do there, the more that it shows up. But okay, so let's sort of leave off a little bit where we left off before. So there's argument for failure to serve pre-suit notice or demand for retraction bars defamation claims. Plaintiff fails Second Amendment complaint is fatally defective because it fails to allege and plaintiff did not provide the requisite written notice and opportunity to retract the allegedly false statements as mandated by both Florida statute and federal law governing procedural sufficiency. And now what this particular one would be is if there was defamation. But of course there was no defamation, so argument for just falls flat on its face. Like in the worst part possible. It just falls completely apart. Welcome, Ty Webb. Good to see you. Glad you could make it. And then, of course, you get into the whole standing here, which is basically Florida law requires pre-suit notice, opportunity to retract under Florida's defamation retraction statute. See what I mean? Plaintiff must serve written notice identifying the alleged defamatory statements with particularity and provide the defendant with reasonable opportunity to retract or correct the statements before seeking damages. See, now this is what they're talking about is Florida law requires that you give an opportunity such as a cease and desist kind of thing, which because there was no defamation, there's no reason to have a cease and desist before. And of course, they quote this properly, amazing enough, before any civil action is brought before publication or broadcast in a newspaper, periodical, or other medium of libel or slander, the plaintiff shall at least have 5 days before instituting such acts to serve notice in writing on the defendant, specifying the article, broadcast, and the statements therein, which he or she alleges to be false or defamatory. Now, that's the thing is you also have to be sure that it's defamatory. Just because it's not something that you like to hear or you don't like what's being said doesn't necessarily mean it's defamatory. Okay. Pretty straightforward. Failure to comply with 770 requires dismissal of the defamation claim. Well, it doesn't require. I mean, compliance with the statute is a condition precedent to the right to maintain an action. It doesn't always require it, but it's something that you want to have in there. I mean, a judge can decide one way or the other. I would assume, I could be wrong on this, but I would think. And of course, federal law recognizes state notice retraction statutes in diversity cases. Oh, federal courts sitting in diversity applies state substantive law, including procedural preconditions like Florida's notice and retraction requirements. Federal courts in Florida routinely dismiss defamation claims where the plaintiff fails to plead compliance with Florida statutes. Plaintiff has not alleged service or notice of compliance. Well, of course, because there was no defamation. The plaintiff's complaint contains no allegation that written notice specifying the allegedly false statements was ever served on Fleasa before filing suit, nor that Fleasa was afforded the opportunity to retract or correct the record. This precludes any claim for damages arising from statements. Well, and again, that silly conclusion because plaintiff failed to comply with the mandatory notice and retraction provisions. It's not pled such compliance. All defamation claims and all claims for damages arise from alleged publication of false statements must be dismissed. Must be. As a matter of law. Well, of course. But that's not what it was about. With her, that's not what it was about. Okay. Argument 5. Plaintiff fails to state a claim for tortious interference with business relations. To state a cause of action for tortious interference with business relationship under Florida law, a plaintiff must allege the existence of a business relationship, not necessarily evidenced by an enforceable contract. Defendant's knowledge of business relationship, the defendant's intentional and justified interference with that relationship, and all loss or damage to the plaintiff as a result of the interference. Well, why don't we just take a look right here? Because we'll go down to her part right here. Yeah, competitor. Well, look right there. We got competitor of Hales for internet sales and marketing. 3,000 subs and tips donations on her line. Podcaster, PR person, malicious. Lee was former volunteer, moderator for Hales YouTube live streams. After resigning as a Hales moderator since June 2024 to date, Fleasa is using her online advertisement YouTube platforms to make false, misleading statements of fact that damage Hales' reputation sales by mainly targeting Hales' owner agent. These statements regarding Hales. So why don't we get down here as part of this conspiracy to harm Hales? Well, we've got that there, and let's see. Does it say anything about tortious interference? I'm looking to see if there's anything in here. Oh, that's a lot of streams just covering Hales. Whew. Okay. Wow, I don't think I even have that many. Okay, that this person is shady as F. No cleaning. Thanks, everyone. Time to grab your Kool-Aid. Oh, excellent. Grab a nice cool beverage. Let's see. I'm looking here. Where does it say? Tortious interference? I'm looking. Oh my gosh. Stalking neighbors, thumbnails attached. Lisa's Licious Cash. This isn't tortious right here. That falls under something else. Wow, it doesn't say anything about tortious, but let's go down here. Maybe it's further down. I'm looking. I don't know. Why don't we do this? We'll just do an F. We'll do a search for tortious interference. Tortious. Oh, I'm spelling it wrong. Let me make sure that I get this right. Let me see. I just want to make sure. Yeah. See, I knew I was spelling it wrong. IOUS. Okay. IOUS. Let's see. Let's try this again. TORTOIUS. Tortious. Okay. IOUS. I'm pretty sure I spelled that right. Okay. It doesn't say anything in there. IOUS. Okay, that's why. IOUS. Oh, see, silly me. No, I did spell it right. IOUS. Okay, IOUS. Tortious. No, that isn't in there. I must be just spelling it wrong. OUS. Oh, Jesus. No wonder I keep spelling it absolutely wrong. See, I'm bad at spelling. Tortious. I'm pretty sure I got that right. IOUS. Okay. What? Maybe I'm just an idiot. Here we go. Tortious. Anywhere in there. No. Oh, why? There's no tortious. But why? Isn't that really weird? There's no tortious in this whole document. Wow. I mean, I'm looking and is it maybe somewhere down further? Wow. Did I just miss the tortious? Helms Axe? No, we're going to Helms and we're going down here to, oh, geez, I must just be losing. Hey, Lost Souls, how are you doing? Good to see you, Lost Souls. Did you hear? I'm sure that you did by now that Koberger pled guilty. My gosh. That's crazy, isn't it, Lost Souls? Now, if you haven't been seeing Lost Souls stuff, Lost Souls goes and covers all of those kinds of things. Well, let's see. We got Get Swamped in there and Dushendorf and Raymond and Luthman and creative. There's a false game, damage to Hill's goodwill and reputation, malicious prosecution. Let's see, count 2. I mean, I'm looking. I'm looking. Count 3 under the Lanham Act. Maybe I'm just missing it here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so here we go. There we go. Yes, I heard. I'm upset. Well, don't be upset. I understand that would have been a really, really interesting, very, very, very interesting trial. But also just think of the heartache that it saves the families, that they don't have to sit through a trial and deal with that. I mean, it is sort of a downer on that, but I will say that I'm just glad that it's that there's, that there is some sort of resolution to that. Some of the families are upset as well. I can imagine, because they're not getting that closure, finding out why exactly he did that kind of thing. I do hope that they do some impact statements into sentencing. Okay, so here we go. What it is Hales re-alleges and reincorporates allegations contained in 1 through 6, 19 through 54, 165 through 172 above as fully set forth therein. This is action for damages against Fleasa for $1,835,000. Now, this is just one part of the whole action. Plea hearing is happening Wednesday, then sentencing will be later in July. Okay, that's good to know, Lost Souls. Keep me updated on that, because I definitely will be watching that, and I'm sure that a lot of people will be watching it, because that was just a horrendous crime. If you're wondering what we're talking about the Koberger and his he did plead guilty to charges, so he'll be like Lost Souls has been keeping up with this really damn close, and says plea hearing is going to be happening Wednesday. Then sentencing should be later in July. So that's going to be something that we'll be covering over here that night if things haven't gone completely off the rails. Oh yeah, no, I love rating people, and I usually rate people whenever I see that their streams are up and running. Whenever I finish up, if people want to come in and check out you, then they're absolutely welcome to, and hopefully they stick around and give a nice little like and subscribe and enjoy what you're doing. Thank you, Lost Souls. Hey, Dawn Messenger, good to see you. This is an action for damages for $1,800,000. Hales maintains valid enforceable contracts and advantageous business relationships with its customers and other companies, including without limitation to Whatnot Inc. and YouTube. So, I mean, there's other things besides, with its customers, other companies, including without limitation, because there are other companies. There would be places like TikTok, Facebook, all of these kinds of places that maintains valid enforceable contracts. And those even if they are like a part partner program. It's still a program that's put together that creates business relationships. And I think Whatnot is one of the things that they've been working on, really trying to boost and promote and get it built up to do their online auctions, to be able to, you know, because if you're going around and you're collecting things, at some point you want to get those back out into the world, a little bit of like recycling. And, you know, there's things that people are really interested in. You know, someone might say, hey, I'm looking for X, Y, or Z collectible, and that fills out their you know, goal of finding that one particular collectible. It may not mean anything to you or me, but to them it might bring back a childhood memory or something that they really didn't want to know about. It was a case that happened in Iowa where some sorority girls and one and it was in a house. They were all brutally deleted, I guess is the best way to put it out there. And one of the boyfriends was also offed in that scene. And then they couldn't find out who it was. They had some suspicions, and all roads pointed to Kohberger. And so that's who they arrested. And it's been probably 2 years. And it's you know, if you just look up Iowa murder, you'll see that's about Kohberger. Lee is knowledgeable of these business relationships between Hales and its customers, other companies, including Without Limitation, Whatnot, YouTube, despite knowledge of the customer's contractual business relationship with Hales. Lee intentionally and without valid justification interferes with such relationships. Hales is damaged by Lee's unlawful conduct by losing revenue streams that would otherwise remain with Hales absent Lee's interference with Hales' valid business relationship. And so that's what they're talking about right there. And that's specifically to Lee, specifically to the Fleasa. And she cried defamation. Oh, sorry, that's my open letter. So let's go back to this. To state a cause for action for tortious interference, business relationship under law, plaintiffs must allege the existence of a business relationship. So there it is. They got that. Defendant's knowledge of the business relationship. He's shown that. Defendant's intentional and justified interference did that. Loss or damage to plaintiff as a result of the interference. Application to these alleges. Plaintiff's complaint fails to plead facts satisfying these elements. No specific business relationship identified. Well, he did right there in the pleading. And I'll get to you here in a second, Fallen Hero. We'll get you just a second. I'll come right back to you. I want to finish this section out right here. The complaint does not allege any specific relationships or identify any particular customers, contracts, or business opportunities in which Flea allegedly interfered. Well, that would be true, but that can't be true because he's stating it right there, and also he advertises it all the time. Now, also, there's proof that there was comments made about those businesses. You don't have to have any particular customers, as you'll see right up here. Existence would be relationship, not necessarily evidenced by an enforceable contract. The knowledge of it and intentional and justified interference with that relationship. General references to reputation, sales, or business model income are insufficient. Well, that's not what he's making references to. As you can see right here, that's not what he's making reference to. He's making reference to these companies right here that he has a relationship with. Hey, how you doing, LRG? Good to see you. All right. And then you get down here to an action for intentional interference with a business relationship requires business relationship. Exactly. But see, those are the kinds of things that would come out in discovery. No allegations of knowledge of a specific relationship. There are no factual allegations. Yes, there are. There's multiple allegations that they had a relationship with them. So he's on YouTube. That's a business relationship, and that's proof right there. No non-privileged, unjustified interference complaints allege. Allegations focus on Lee's publication of statements online and on YouTube, which they're in They're in business on YouTube. Criticism, negative commentary, even allegedly false statements do not, without more, constitute actionable interference. Absolutely. And she's correct in that. Criticism, negative commentary, but false statements can constitute actionable interference. False statements such as the ones that we referenced earlier, talking about, his junk, things like that, making those kinds of references can lead to those kinds of things. Moscow, Idaho. Oh, that's wild. Criticism, negative commentary, even allegedly false statements do not. The conduct is not directed at inducing a third party to terminate relationship, but instead aimed at a broad and differentiated public audience. Well, that right there would be enough. That is designed to interfere with a broad relationship. Additionally, statements made in the context of public commentary or opinion are generally privileged, absent clear malice or intent to directly disrupt a specific relationship. Well, then that's where it comes down to the argument. It's more, those are the kinds of things that you'll find out in discovery. No casual connection to actual damages. Well, and that's the thing is if you read what the complaint is right here, and if you look at it, she's knowledgeable of this business relationship despite knowledge of the customer's contractual business relationship with Hales. Lee intentionally, without valid justification, interferes with such relationships, and those can be brought out in discovery. Hales is damaged by Lee's conduct by losing revenue streams that otherwise remain with Hales absent Lee interference and the Hales valid business relationship. So, he's pretty much hit all the points right there. And this right here is, federal law consistent, no plausible claim stated. Actually, there is plausible claim stated, and the sufficient facts would be, those are sufficient facts enough to carry on. Here, plaintiff alleges are conclusory, lack specificity, do not provide factual basis necessary. Well, actually, they do. So, argument 6, plaintiff lacks standing under the FDUTPA and fails to state a claim under the Lanham Act. Well, let's see, where is Lanham Act? So that's Ducey. And I'm looking, civil conspiracy right here, alleges, reincorporates allegations, participate in a civil conspiracy among themselves with others, individuals, the purpose of which was to commit violations of deceptive and unfair trade practices, false advertising of the Lanham Act, the tort of tortious interference with advantageous business relationships. So this is covering a whole bunch of them right here. Northern Idaho in the Panhandle. Stretch out, relax time. Mug on Rumble watching the meltdown stream from last week has stressed me out. Yeah, I'm with you on that. That stresses me out too. It's crazy. And I'm just reading over what her response was that created that whole damn meltdown. So you're welcome to be here. Oh, let me get this real quick for Fallen Hero. Just for you, Fallen Hero.
Welcome to the ship.
Oh, yes. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. 'Cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of twats. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous,
Ignorant, baltered, dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery.
all over again.
Oh, yes, now. Hey, Valor, how you doing? Good to see you. If you haven't checked out Valor, go check out it. He does some fun videos, most definitely. With advantageous business relationship throughout the course of the conspiracy, Flea and all the defendants are acting in concert, coordinated in furtherance of the common scheme. Flea knew of the scheme, assisted in it for all the acts of all defendants, co-conspirators, including engaging in unconscionable, unfair, deceptive acts or practices that offend established public policy. They're immoral, unethical, oppressive, unscrupulous, and substantially injurious to customers that are likely to deceive a customer, acting reasonably in the same circumstances that caused injury or detriment to consumers, making false or misleading descriptions of fact and false or misleading representations of fact that are in commercial advertising or promotion, misrepresenting the characteristics, qualities, and reputation of Hales and Hales commercial activities. And despite knowledge of the customer's contractual and business relationship with Hales, intentionally without valid justification interfering with such relationship, jointly severely liable for all the acts of all the other members of the conspiracy which were committed in furtherance of the conspiracy. She agreed to launch a campaign to damage Hales as evidenced by Flea's actions. As a result of the conspiracy, Hales suffered damages. Okay, so that's what the claim is there. Must be an aggrieved consumer. Well, now that would be wrong. No, they're not the consumer. Or a person or entity has been harmed. That's not what it means. Courts have repeatedly held the business competitors, non-consumers lacking to assert unfair trade practices acts claims unless they are able to allege that they themselves purchase or receive goods and services as a consumer. Well, that might be true, but I don't think it is. Does not. No, of course he doesn't allege he's a consumer. He is actually the provider of products and services. Nor does he purchase or receive anything in commerce. Then that's not what he needs to be doing. See, this is where you're messing up right here. Now, if you would have played this properly, you might have gotten something, but that's right. It is false advertising provisions require the plaintiff to be a business competitor. Who's suffered commercial or competitive harm as a result as the defendant advertising promotion, state a claim, plaintiff must allege the defendant made a false or misleading statement of fact in commercial advertising promotion about his or own other product, which they do quite often. The statement actually deceived or had the tendency to deceive a substantial segment of the audience. Deception is material and is likely to influence purchasing decisions. Defendants cause the false statements to enter interstate commerce. Well, if it's online, it turns into interstate commerce. Plaintiff is then or is likely to be injured as a result either by direct diversion of sales or by lessening of the goodwill associated with its products. You think? Plaintiffs allegedly do not satisfy these elements. There are no factual allegations that Lee made any false or misleading statement in commercial advertising or promotion about the characteristic quality of Hales goods or services. Well, calling it garbage junk, that you should do X, Y, or Z to certain things or, causing problems there. That could, moreover, Hales fails to allege any fact showing actual likely injury in the form of, well, he doesn't have to at this point. That's what discovery is for. Again, you're missing out on discovery. It's too hot. I don't sleep a lot. I understand that, Kippy. Because plaintiff is not a consumer. No, well, that would be wrong. Okay, so argument 7, failure to state a claim for civil conspiracy. Ooh, civil conspiracy. Well, let's see what exactly he says right here. Well, that's Ducey. Okay, let's see. That's Ducey. That's Preston. Let's see. Let's go down. Conspiracy. It's Crook. Let's see. We've got Hughes. Let's see. I'm scrolling. I'm looking for. Oh hell no, that's not her either. Let's see. Where is it? No, that's Kesey. Are we? Did I miss something? Maybe it's up here at the very top. Civil conspiracy Cook. Oh. Preston. No, that's Preston. And let's see. Oh, no, it's still under Lee. So it's still under the count 6. So I don't know why they changed the count to count 7. That's confusing as all get out, but okay. They're saying 7. Okay. Civil conspiracy requires an actual underlying tort, which that's what was already there. So the underlying tort was wrong already. That was already there. So them saying that an agreement between two or more parties. Okay, there was to do an unlawful act. Okay, they've shown that. The doing of some more overt act in pursuance of the conspiracy. And they've shown that too. The damage or plaintiff as a result of the acts done under the conspiracy. And these last two would be something that come out in discovery. Oh, and of course, no actionable underlying tort is pled. Well, actually, they did do that on violations of Florida deceptive untrade, trade act, the Lanham Act, tortious interference with business relations, defamation. Okay. Doesn't matter if they are, doesn't matter. And the complaint fails to identify specific businesses. Well, that it does. And again, with this defamation thing, complaint, what? What is she talking about defamation for again? Why is it there? Why is it there? Okay, makes no sense why they would have defamation there all of a sudden. Civil conspiracy fails without underlying tort. Where the plaintiff cannot demonstrate the existence of an actual underlying tort, the conspiracy claim must be dismissed. But see, that's what you're missing. Claim also must be dismissed as a matter of law. Okay, additional arguments in favor of the defendant flee. Plaintiff claims targeted protected speech in online commentary. Okay, so that's not what Jeremy is talking about. He's not talking about the protected speech and online commentary. It's whenever those things can turn in, the problem with this claim right here that she's wanting to throw back against legal concern participation in public commentary, criticism, and online discussion. There's no problem with having that criticism or online discussion. No different than, see, this is one of the reasons why you actually read these pleadings, because you are criticizing or you're making commentary on something like this. This right here would be protected speech, criticizing, making mocking letters, things of that sort would be still under protected speech, because you're not telling anybody to go and do any harm to other people. You're not telling people to, go away and leave other, or harass or any crap like that. You're not doing any of those. And once you step over that realm of where you're starting to do things that you're harassing people and you're intentionally, maliciously doing that right there goes away from protected speech. We've seen those kinds of things happen in other cases where, particularly Laura Owens, where you'd have other people, not me, other people would go out there and say things to other people to stir up problems. And I've had people come over here and do that same thing. That's on them. That I cannot blame those. It'd be, for example, if Tammy Bugard came in here and said, that I'm a horrible person and I do X, Y, or Z and starts making claims. I know she wouldn't, but if she did, that would be on her. I couldn't attribute those to Fleasa. That wouldn't be, I'd have to agree. That's true. So those can't be attributed to another person. You can't sit there and say, hey, I'm doing this on behalf. You're speaking for yourself. So those wouldn't fall under it. And so that's the thing, is she's done these kinds of things where she's said things about and directed people to do things on her behalf, and same way as attacking people and that kind of stuff. That can get you in all kinds of problems. Things as highlighted, statements such as Jeremy Hale's torture Preston for content. That right there would be making an untrue statement. Remarks about destroying lives used in a virtual mob are classic examples of opinion. Rhetorical, hyperbole, or non-actionable criticism. Florida and federal courts have repeatedly recognized that robust and even caustic speech about public figures or online personalities is not actionable. So isn't it interesting that those same people want to come after me for my satirical letters? Seems really, really, really odd, doesn't it? Generalized and conclusory allegations are not sufficient. Complaint relies on vague, conclusory, and generalized allegations such as claims of malicious conspiracy, scheme, or campaign of public disparagement, without specifying what statements were made when or showing how they're provably false. But they've done those kinds of things. Such allegations do not meet the federal pleading standard Just stated claim. No specific or unlawful agreement or overt acts for conspiracy is stated claim of civil conspiracy. Plaintiff must allege an agreement to commit an independent tort. Well, and those are the kinds of things that you will find out in I do X, Y, and a hell amounts of Z. Oh, yeah. I need to get some more Z is what I need to do. To state a claim for civil conspiracy must allege an agreement to commit an independent tort and specific overt acts in furtherance thereof, merely participating in live streams, posting on social media, or appearing on YouTube channels, even in collaboration with others, is not sufficient to plead conspiracy under Florida law. No, it doesn't. But it's gone beyond that. I mean, you know, that's the crazy part about it. Greetings, Mr. Duggar. Good to see you. I hope you're doing really good. Mr. Duggar is a man with a plan. No trade or commerce alleged under that, but there is. Actually, he does do commerce. I mean, if you have a YouTube channel and you have a store and you're using that to attack somebody, then yeah, that could be seen as that. No commercial advertising promotion, but they are advertising, they are promoting. So yeah, you got that there. No identifiable business relationship for tortious interference. Complaint files to identify with specificity any business relationship between plaintiff and a third party. But there is. He's already named those multiple times. General associations about reputation and sales are insufficient, but they're saying we have a business relationship with whatnot. We have a business relationship with our specific customers. First Amendment online context. The context of these statements is critical. YouTube and other similar online platforms are forums for expressive, often exaggerated and contentious opinion and commentary. But you also still have to follow the YouTube's terms of service. You know, there's this little thing called terms of service that you have to follow. Okay, those terms of service say things such as, and I'll just use these for as an example, that you're not allowed to create a second account if you've had a banned account, to avoid those bans and continue on with those actions. And in some of those cases, what can happen is if your channel has these people on there, you know, for example, if you've got someone that's been banned from being on YouTube, but yet they're using, let me use this for an example. Okay, say the expert, we know this isn't going to happen, gets banned from YouTube. He does something really bad and horrible, and YouTube is like, we've got to ban him. We got to get rid of the expert, and they remove him from YouTube. Now, if I invite him on and then he uses my channel to continue those kinds of actions, that right there could easily get my channel nuked, okay, and removed, or at least, you know, possibly some sort of violation because it violates those terms of service. And people don't tend to understand that. So what happened with the group, what was it, over the weekend where they got their stuff removed? I don't know what happened. I was away from the YouTubes. I was getting ready to go on FNL. I was spending time with my wife before that and working most of the day, just trying to get a whole bunch of stuff caught up that, you know, was starting to pile up. So I had no idea all the stuff that was going on until like 5 minutes before I'm going live with expert. And I hear all this crap is blowing up, crazy stuff, and that people's channels are being deleted and moved and banned and, you know, just removed. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I didn't even know what the extent of it was until later on. I'm like, holy cow. That's why invites for me are minimal. Exactly, Valerie. Yeah, there's bans out there, and I don't know if it's bans or what's going on, but I know that they've got like suspensions and things like that. So, thanks, Mr. Duggar. So they've got those kinds of things that are actually happening. I don't know the extent of it. I really don't, and I probably never will. It doesn't mean that much to me. Plaintiff's motive pattern undermine claims. These documents notes plaintiff's pattern provoking controversy for personal gain. There's lots of channels that do that. I mean, that happens quite often. Sometimes people do it unintentionally. There's going to be provoking controversy for personal gain, but it's not really personal gain. It might be to advertise. It could be for showing whatever product you might have. I mean, perfect example is if you were talking about an election and you provoke some sort of controversy over it. Well, people are going to want to watch and see what you're talking about. It's simple as that. It's going to be there. Not necessarily provoking controversy, but being in the middle of it is not necessarily provoking. As using a litigation tool for content and fundraising. Okay, that's a weird phrase, but okay. This context further supports the view that the current action is an attempt to chill protected speech rather than to redress any actionable wrong. Well, and that's the thing is it's not going after chilling speech. It's going after, like horrible things you just say, business relationships that are being lost. And also a lot of that stuff is going to come out in discovery. Some of these, it's, how would you put this? I think the best way to put this is you pick your battles. If you want to fight tooth and nail for every single little thing, then you're going to end up having pleadings that are 27 pages long, and not very cohesive. And then request honorable court dismiss the following complaint with prejudice. Well, that would be, for the judge to decide. I can't make that decision, but most likely, especially after reading Randy's response to this amended motion where there's all kinds of claims of defamation, I don't see that kind of thing happening. I really don't. Make a bag, put a walker carry. I just heard my guitar make a plunk sound. That's weird. Huh. Cool. Can't get in the walker. Make it back to put a walker and carry stuff onto. And then so that's it. That's really it. So strike irrelevant. In the alternative, strike irrelevant and general conclusory allegations and other remedies just under the law. Well, that would be the thing is there's you have to show what is irrelevant. I mean, almost everything that you put into this pleading was irrelevant. Almost everything. Because I mean, it and this is the thing. It talks about the civil conspiracy, the actions, intentionally participate in civil conspiracy among themselves, and it just goes through all of that. And then we go down here. Let's see. I think there was more because we got Preston. And some of these claims are the same, but they're not quite. And then you got Crook. We've got hugeness. We've got more. And I'm looking to see if there's anything else in here that was worthwhile talking about here. Torschendorf and that's really it. Then we got Zipbones, Krashas, which was one that was in there, and then Loopman. And we go down here. Oh, wow. Well, that would be Loofman also. That one's going to be an interesting one right there. And then we've got demand for jury trial. Okay, so there we go. That is covering both of those. But you know what we need now? I think it's that time for a letter. I think you guys are ready for it. I think you want to feel it. I think you want to hear it. I can feel the groove. I can feel the groove.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzywhiznut.
An open letter to the defendant who filed a motion against complaint that didn't exist. She was so busy fighting fiction, she forgot to face reality. Well, it takes a special kind of self-delusion to fumble this hard on the federal stage. The plaintiffs, they filed a second amended complaint that, let's be honest, might as well have been titled, "You're not being sued for your opinions, you're being sued for your graft." It was clean, precise, 4 claims, not one of them defamation. So naturally, she responded by spending 24 pages screeching about how the First Amendment protects her right to speak her truth, while simultaneously proving she didn't even skim the damn thing. This wasn't a legal filing, it was a diagnostic, a clinical exhibition in what happens when someone believes their own live stream comments more than their own counsel, assuming, of course, that anyone actually read it before filing. She cried defamation to a complaint that never said a word. There's something almost poetic about watching a defendant feed a federal complaint like a personal horoscope. Plaintiffs filed 4 crystal clear causes of action: FDUTPA, Lanham Act, tortious interference, and civil conspiracy, none of which so much as flirted with defamation, and yet Fleasa kicked down the courtroom door with a flaming brief full of First Amendment arguments as if she'd just been personally attacked by the Bill of Rights. She came in hot, citing 770 like it was a scripture, unloading paragraphs about slander and libel with the confidence of someone who definitely didn't read the actual claims. It was less a motion to dismiss and more a dramatic monologue from a community theater production of "In My Feelings, the Legal Reckoning." She even accused plaintiffs of failing to provide pre-suit notice under a statute they didn't invoke. That's like yelling, "You didn't invite me to the wedding," at someone who never got engaged. Sis packed a suitcase, showed up to the wrong address, and now furious there's no reception. And here's the kicker: the lawsuit doesn't say defamation, because the lawsuit isn't about defamation. It's about deceptive business practices, commercial falsehoods, and sabotaging competitors for profit. So either she didn't read it or she read it and didn't want to answer it. That's the secret sauce here. Deep down, she knew the claims were coming from a different angle, a legal, dangerous one. The kind that doesn't care whether you think you're an advocate or a commenter. When you've got PayPal links pinned under videos accusing people of crimes, that kind of lawsuit that says you built a brand off of wrecking ours and now we've got receipts. So instead of responding to the courts, which would require admitting to the conduct, she drafted a motion to defeat the imaginary claim she thought should be in there. Well, that's not a legal strategy. It's self-incrimination by projection. You don't cry defamation when no one's accused you of it, unless you're worried they could have. Well, I'm not a business. I'm just a girl with a channel and a PayPal button. There's always one, the person who thinks slapping the words for entertainment purposes only on a live stream makes them immune to federal law. Fleasa, in which might be the most glorious, unserious portion of her motion, claimed the Lanham Act doesn't apply to her because she's not a commercial competitor, just a commenter, a storyteller, a whimsical truth pixie fluttering through the YouTube on wings of free speech and unpaid opinions, except she's absolutely selling something. And it's not just merch. She's pushing a narrative, a weaponized brand, one built entirely on dunking the plaintiffs with funneling viewers straight into donation portals and PayPal links with emotionally manipulative captions like "support the shit" and "help take them down." That's not commentary. That's commerce with a vendetta. It's like watching someone run an infomercial for their hate campaign, then argue because they didn't use a coupon code, it doesn't count as advertising. She wants to be an anti-hero with a ring light. She wants to profit off a conflict while pretending she's just sitting on the sidelines narrating the drama like it's a reality show and not a business. When you monetize falsehoods about a direct competitor, guess what? You're no longer in the audience. You're a cast member. And honey, that camera's rolling and it broke. She's out there like, "I'm not a business, Your Honor. I just have a monetized YouTube channel. Branded overlays, a merch store, exclusive members-only gossip, Patreon tiers named after legal threats, and donation links on every defamatory video I've ever posted, but no, totally not commercial." It's not defense. That's a confession wrapped in denial, dipped in plausible deniability, and deep fried in super chats. And the court's not buying it because no matter how she rebrands it, that's commercial speech, and the Lanham Act is a suggestion. It's a federal bat to the kneecaps when you lie about a competitor to boost your own clout. Conspiracy. Never heard of it. It just happened to parrot the same script. Fleasa swears up and down, hand on live stream mic, eyes wide with performative innocence, that there's no conspiracy, no collusion, no coordination, just vibes and coincidentally synchronized defamation. She'd like the court to believe that she, her Griff sisters, and the rotating panel of pseudonymous internet foot soldiers all happen to come to the exact same conclusion, using the same graphics with the same font with the same 12-hour period, all while tagging the same fundraiser in total unrelated acts of unorganic coincidence. This isn't a motion to dismiss, it's a submission to the Guinness Book of World Records for most conveniently timed gaslighting. We're supposed to believe it's all just independent commentary, that it's just several people who, by sheer dumb luck, decided to accuse the same plaintiff of the same alleged behavior while boosting each other's content and sending viewers down the same monetized pipeline like a Griff-themed water slide. Because apparently when they all scream, "Take him down," in unison, it's not a plan, it's just an echo. Or filing threats. Or filing treats the conspiracy count like any fairy tale. Well, sure, we're talking about it, but that doesn't mean we agreed on anything, except agreeing is kind of banked in when you're showing up on each other's streams, pointing to the same so-called receipts and funneling the outrage to the same GoFundMe that mysteriously never makes it to the supposed beneficiary. It's like staging a flash mob in the courthouse parking lot and then insisting you all just happen to start dancing at the same time. The truth, what she calls commentary, wasn't commentary. It was commercially distributed, targeted defamation dressed up in influencer filters and YouTube tags. And in her filing, she didn't even deny the content. She just denied it was coordinated. Ma'am, you're not in a dorm room whispering rumors. You're on a monetized platform yelling into a ring light with a promo code. When multiple defendants act with a shared objective, support each other's lives, and profit from the same outcome, the courts don't call that free speech. They call it civil conspiracy, especially when the end goal is to drive someone off a platform, torch their reputation, redirect their revenue to you. She wants to be treated like a lone commentator, but she filed her defense in the same key as the whole choir, and every judge in America can spot a rehearsed chorus from a spontaneous solo. Summary, she didn't read the complaint, she read her feelings. You can almost hear the Spotify playlist as she had on while drafting her motion. The sad violin. Strong female lead energy. Few tracks from the Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss Deluxe Edition, because this filing, it wasn't a legal response. No, it was a trauma dump with citations. Rather than engaging with what was actually written, over 150 paragraphs of factual allegations detailing commercial behavior, business sabotage, coordinated interference. She pulled on her emotional scissors and cut together a whole new version of the complaint in her head, one that accused her of being mean, misunderstood, and unfairly silenced by the man, the myth, the legend, Jeremy Hales. Well, she's not fighting what was filed, she's fighting what she felt. This is choose your own adventure lawyering. Page 1, read the claims. Page 2, cry about completely different set of issues and call it a motion to dismiss. She declares that complaint was vague, which is rich considering she specifically cites her conduct in dozens of paragraphs across 3 distinct sections with clear timelines, platform references, and quotes from her own mouth. If this is vague, then IKEA manuals are written in dead languages. She whines about lack of specificity, while the plaintiff handed the court a GPS pinned timestamp roadmap to her monetized sabotage. From the super chats to the shared links, but no, in Fleasa land, that's just apparently just coincidental internet passion. Girl, please, your timestamps line up tighter than a Navy drill team. She insists her speech was protected, ignoring that false commercial claims made by a competitor about another business aren't protected under any First Amendment doctrine. That's just not unprotected. That's federally flammable. And here's the truth. Underneath her whole tantrum and briefing form, she didn't prepare a defense. She prepared a rebuttal to an imaginary critics in her head. Motion reads like it was dictated during a late night scroll, with a scented candle burning, an open bottle of wine, and a group chat of enablers cheering her on with "You go, girl" emojis. And sure, it feels empowering to clap back at lawsuits you didn't understand, but in federal court, well, feelings just don't dismiss those claims, and facts do. And unfortunately for her, those are not on her side. Fleasa could have told the court, believe she's just a gal with a webcam, a mission, a message, and a passion for truth. A humble digital Joan of Arc, not a competitor, not a business, and certainly not operating for profit, except the entire setup looks like an activist, more like a multi-level outage marketing funnel. Every expose she posts comes prepackaged with a call to action. Every teary rant has a PayPal link in the first 3 lines of the description. Every accusation is flanked by super chat prompts, tiered memberships, and links to exclusive truth drops for paid supporters. She even thanks donors midstream like it's a PBS pledge drive for conspiracy content. But no, she swears this isn't commercial speech. It's personal, as if emotional manipulation and a tip jar somehow makes it pure. Ma'am, when your monetized content accuses people of crimes, tarnishes their reputation, and benefits your own platform, that's not performance art. That's a targeted campaign with a checkout button. And yet, she asked the court, ignore the cash register dinging in the background of every slander-adjacent live stream to pretend the pile of receipts tucked under neatly between timestamps and triggered rants doesn't count as commerce. That it's all vibes-based journalism, free from legal accountability because she typed allegedly once and cried on camera. But courts don't grade on the crying curve. They look at conduct, and hers screams business model. She doesn't just talk about the plaintiffs. She sells those attacks. She's monetized defamation and drag. It's content creation with a vendetta and Venmo. And when she says it's not commercial, what she really means is she doesn't want to be held to the legal standards that comes with commercial speech, even though she sure enjoys the payout. You don't get to accuse someone of fraud, post their name in your titles, ranks, and rake in super chats from your audience, and then act shocked when federal court notices you're running a defamatory content kiosk. And she's not just speaking, she's selling. And the only thing more obvious than the grift is the fear that someone finally called her out. With all the sincerity of a blank exhibit and a broken hyperlink, Shizzywhiznut, still riding the short bus, but apparently reading more pages than the entire ecosystem combined. And definitely your dad.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzywhiznut.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You know, I don't think we hit the goal, but that's okay because we're still going to do the music. You guys still get the music. Another great letter. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate it. No, I've got some music for this one because I thought it would be fun to put something together. And, well, you know, because I do this kind of stuff for fun, I thought you guys might enjoy it. So let's go ahead and get you some music right here. And I'll wait until after this is done, and then we'll play them again. But we're gonna give you the first track. How's that? Here we go.
Well, I showed up late with emotion in hand, wrote it on napkins with a half-baked plan, said this'll show 'em with a wink and a grin. Then the judge said, honey, where do I begin? I yelled defamation like a legal champ, but the claim weren't there, just a gaslight stamp. Barked at shadows and fought thin air, turns out the complaint never put me there. Oops, all wrong arguments, filed it out with 0 cents, quoting blogs like they're Scottish law, and footnotes copied from my mother-in-law. Oops, I'm dancing on a courtroom rug, spinning like a drunk on a Red Bull chug. Couldn't play facts, but I chose a rant. Now the judge's patience is looking skimp. tip jar bled through Friday night with my merch link humming under every clip. But that ain't business, just fellowship. Conspiracy, nah, we don't conspire. We just all post the same script around the same hour. Not a plan, just coincidence, sure. And we all found the same fake receipt on tour. Oops, all wrong arguments. A casserole in love, legal nonsense. Motion dressed like it passed the bar, but it smells like it came from a used tip jar. Oops, it ain't speech, it's just a grift. Wrapped in hashtags and a judgment shift. Thought I'd dodge with just my view, but the court saw commerce and a lawsuit too. I said the speech was hyperbole, but forgot I tagged their name first. CEO said it wasn't fraud, just some colorful shade, while I pitched a GoFundMe every time I played. All wrong arguments felt like I learned law from a Reddit thread. Judge looked twice, then stared at the floor like what fresh nonsense just hit my door. Oops, should've stuck to puppet shows instead of neck deep in plaintiff prose. Next time I'll shut up and read the claim, but for now I'm just a punchline with a real long name.
Welcome to the shit show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. Cause everybody's such, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of clots. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, what the fuck? And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid predicaments. Ignorant, boulder, dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery. Yeah, we'll have it all over again.
Yeah, that happens. Thank you so much. You're muted, moron. Yes, I am muted. Thank you so much. That was track number 1, and of course you got to hear the song, and of course I was muted. So yeah, what I just said was thank you very much, Audrey Little. Thank you so much for the laughs. You make it easy. That's what the star was for. And let me say, missed the goal, still happy to help. I think I missed a star on that one. So let me give you one for that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you again. I don't know if I gave you a star for that because, well, it's late. I'm tired and I'm enjoying myself. Why can't we just all be friends? Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? All right, here comes number 2. Here goes number 2. Let's see.
Well, I showed up late with a motion in hand, wrote it on napkins with a half-baked plan, said this'll show 'em with a wink and a grin. Then the judge said, honey, where do I begin? I yelled defamation like a legal champ, but the claim weren't there, just a gaslight stamp. Barked at shadows and fought thin air. Turns out the complaint never put me there. Oops, all wrong arguments, filed aloud with 0 cents. Quoting blogs like a SCOTUS law, and footnotes copied from my ma-in-law. Oops, I'm dancing on a courtroom rug, spinning like a drunk on a Red Bull chug. Could've pled facts, but I chose a rant. Now the judge's patience is looking scant. Said I ain't selling, just spreading light, while my tip jar bled through Friday night with my merch sling humming under every clip. But that ain't business, just fellowship. Conspiracy, nah, we don't conspire. We just all post the same script around the same hour. Not a plan, just coincidence, sure. And we all found the same fake receipt on tour.
right. we got Emma coming in here, giving us that beautiful $2 super chat. It is a early mug raid from the Rumble side. I am sure that was a fun stream, and the Fox raids are inbound. I'm telling you, they are coming in hard. They're coming in strong. They're coming in fast. They're coming in good right there. You get stuck right next to the expert on that one. Thank you so much for that with the mug raid. All right, let's give us number 4, and then we'll go through a nice quick play of each one of these as they come in. So here it comes. Here, oh yeah, it was. I'm sure it was. Here we go. Here's number 4. Or no, I'm sorry. This is number 3, and then we'll do number 4, and then we'll put up the votes. So here we go.
Well, I showed up late with the motion in hand, wrote it on napkins with a half-baked plan, said this'll show 'em with a wink and a grin. Then the judge said, honey, where do I begin? I yelled defamation like a legal champ, but the claim weren't there, just a gaslight stamp. Barked at shadows and fought thin air. Turns out the complaint never put me there. Oops, all wrong arguments. Filed it loud with 0 cents. Quoting blogs like a SCOTUS law, and footnotes copied from a mag-in-law. Oops, I'm dancing on a courtroom rug, spinning like a drunk on a Red Bull jug. Could have pled facts, but I chose a rant. Now the judge's patience is looking scant. Said I ain't selling, just spreading light, while my tip jar bled through Friday night with my merch link humming under every clip. But that ain't business, just fellowship. Conspiracy, nah, we don't conspire. We just all post the same script around the same hour. Not a plan, just coincidence, sure. And we all found the same fake receipt on tour. Oops, all wrong arguments. A casserole of legal nonsense. Motion dressed it like it passed the bar, but it smells like it came from a used tip jar. Oops, it ain't speech, it's just a grift. Wrapped in hashtags and a judgment shift. Thought I dodged with just my view, but the court saw commerce in a lawsuit too. Hyperbole, but forgot I tagged her name for SEO. Said it wasn't fraud, just some colorful shade, while I pitched a GoFundMe every time I played. Oops, all wrong arguments. File like I learned law from Reddit threads. Judge looked twice, then stared at the floor like, what fresh nonsense just hit my door? Oops, should've stuck to puppet shows. Instead I'm neck deep in plain prose. Next time I'll shut up and read the claim, but for now I'm just a punchline with a real long name.
All right, that was number 3. We're getting ready to do number 4. Sorry, I was kind of late. I'll catch up later. Oh, there's so much fun to catch up to. But before we do that, we've got to say, maybe not gifted 20 memberships to all you fine folks that are out there hanging out that maybe you're not a member, or maybe you're not even watching, but all of a sudden you got a membership. Welcome.
Welcome to the shit show.
Oh, yes. Every single day. A new flavor of fuckery, 'cause everybody sticks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of clots. Monday,
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, man.
4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous,
Ignorant, altered, dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery. Oh, yeah. Giving a foot to that one right there. It just took a while to peel that foot off. It was stuck right there. Oh, yes. And also Janice Wingfield for the $20 super chat. Sorry, I'll catch up later. Don't worry, because we'll catch up to you right now. And you don't want to miss the letter that we just did. Oh, my gosh. You guys just missed that letter. It was on fire. Ask the rest of the chat if you don't believe me that it was hot. And then we're going to do number 4, which is probably like my least favorite of it, but I still, I gotta have 4 of them in there. So we're gonna play 4, and then we'll do a short rundown after this one, and then we'll see which one you guys voted as being the next one, or I'll recreate it all over again. So Janice, number 4 is for you.
motion in hand, wrote it on napkins with a half-baked plan. Said this'll show 'em with a wink and a grin. Then the judge said, honey, where do I begin? I drove his defamation like a legal champ, but the claim weren't there, just a gaslight stamp. Barked at shadows and fought thin air. Turns out the complaint never put me there. Oops, all wrong arguments, filed it loud with 0 sense. Quotes in blogs like they're SCOTUS law, and footnotes copied from my mother-in-law. Oops, I'm dancing on a courtroom rug, spinning like a drunk on a Red Bull chug. Could've pled facts, but I chose a rant. Now the judge is just looking scared. Said I ain't selling, just spreading light. When my tip jar bled through Friday night, with my merch link coming under every clip. But that ain't business, just fellowship. Conspiracy, now we don't conspire, we just all post the same script, run the same hour. What a plan, trick, coincidence, sure. Now I find the same thing for see on tour. Oops, all wrong arguments, a casserole of legal nonsense. Motion dressed like it passed the bar, but it smells like it came from a used tip jar. Oops, it ain't speech, it's just a grift, wrapped in hashtags and a judgment shift. Thought I'd dodge with just my view, but the court saw commerce in a lawsuit too. I said the speech was hyperbole, but forgot I tagged their name for SEO. Said it wasn't fraud, just some colorful shade, while I pitched a GoFundMe every time I played. Oops, all wrong arguments, fine like I learned love Reddit threads. Judge looked twice, then stared at the floor like what fresh nonsense just hit my door. Oops, should've stuck to puppet shows. Instead I'm neck deep in plaintiff prose. Next time I'll shut up and read the claim, but for now I'm just a punchline with a real long name.
All right. So what somebody asked for, what someone asked for was they asked for this version of it. So you're going to get to hear a version that's not in the voting chat. And then we're going to let you guys hear this. I haven't heard it yet either. So here we go.
Well, I showed up late with a motion in hand, wrote it on napkins with a half-baked plan. Said this'll show 'em with a wink and a grin. And the judge said, honey, where do I begin? I yelled defamation like a legal champ, but the claim weren't there, just a gaslight stamp. Barked at shadows and
I don't like that one. Let's try this.
Well, I showed up late with a motion in hand, wrote it on napkins with a half-baked plan. Said this'll show 'em with a wink and a grin. Then the judge said, honey, where do I begin? I yelled defamation like a legal champ, but the claim weren't there, just a gaslight stamp. Barked at shadows and fought thin air. Turns out the complaint never put me there. Oops, all wrong arguments, filed it loud with 0 sense. Quoting blogs like I've got his law, and footnotes copied from my mother-in-law.
No, don't like any of those. So here we go. This is number one. This is number one. Audrey Little's like, better. They're like, nope. This is number one.
Well, I showed up late with a motion in hand, wrote it on napkins with a half-baked plan. Said this'll show 'em with a wink and a grin. Then the judge said, honey, where do I begin? I yelled defamation like a legal champ, but the claim weren't there, just a gaslight stamp.
This is number one.
Barked at shadows and fought thin air. Turns out the complaint never put me there. Oops, all wrong arguments, filed it loud with 0 sense. Quoting blogs like they're Scottish law, and footnotes copied from my mother-in-law. Oops, I'm dancing on a courtroom rug, spinning like a drunk on a Red Bull chug. Could've played facts, but I chose a rant. Now the judge's patience is looking skimp.
So that was one. Here's number two.
I showed up late with a motion in hand, wrote it on napkins with a half-baked plan, said this'll show 'em with a wink and a grin. Then the judge said, honey, where do I begin? I yelled defamation like a legal champ, but the claim weren't there, just a gaslight stamp. Barked at shadows and fought thin air, turns out the complaint never put me there. Oops, all long arguments, filed it loud with 0 cents. Quotes in blogs like they're SCOTUS law, and footnotes copied from my ma-in-law. Oops, I'm dancing on a courtroom rug, spinning like a drunk on a Red Bull chug. Could've pled facts, but I chose a rant. Now the judge's patience is looking scant.
Okay, so that's number two. All right, here comes number three.
Well, I showed up late with the motion in hand,
this
wrote it
three?
on napkins with a half-baked plan, said this'll show 'em with a wink and a grin. Then the judge said, honey, where do I begin? I yelled defamation like a legal champ, but the claim weren't there, just a gaslight stamp. Barked at shadows and fought thin air, turns out the complaint never put me there. Oops, all wrong arguments, filed it loud with 0 cents. Quoting blogs like a SCOTUS law, and footnotes copied from my ma-in-law. Oops, I'm dancing on a courtroom rug, spinning like a drunk on a Red Bull chug. Could've pled facts, but I chose a rant. Now the judge's patience is looking scant. Said
All right, so that was number three. And this is number four. That's number four right here. And you'll have a little bit to do that.
Well, I showed up late with a motion in hand, wrote it on napkins with a half-baked plan, said this'll show 'em with a wink and a grin. Then the judge said, honey, where do I begin? I drove his defamation like a legal champ, but the claim weren't there, just a gaslight stamp. Barked at shadows and fought thin air, turns out the complaint never put me there. Oops, all wrong arguments, filed it loud with 0 cents. Quotes in blogs like they're SCOTUS law, and footnotes copied from my ma-in-law. Oops, I'm dancing on a courtroom rug, spinning like a drunk on a Red Bull chug. Could've pled facts, but I chose a rant. Now the judge's hand is looking scared. Said I ain't selling, just spreading light. When my tip jar bled through Friday night, with my merch link coming under every clip, but that ain't business, just fellowship.
All right, so that was number four. And while the votes are coming in, I'm going to play you two versions that won't be happening unless they just turn out really freaking awesome and I'm impressed by them. But then we'll see which one you guys voted for. And so here we go. And this will give you about 6 minutes to get all the votes in. Here we go. So you've heard 1, 2, 3, and 4, and here comes the ones that are a mess.
Well, I showed up late with a motion in hand, wrote it on napkins with a half-baked plan, said this'll show 'em with a wink and a grin. Then the judge said, honey, where do I begin? I yelled defamation like a legal champ, but the claim weren't there, just a gaslight stamp. Barked at shadows and fought thin air, turns out the complaint never put me there. Oops, all arguments, filed it loud with 0 cents. Quoting blogs with the SCOTUS law, and footnotes copied from my ma-in-law. Oops, I'm dancing on a courtroom rug, spinning like a drunk on a Red Bull chug. Could've pled facts, but I chose a rant. And the judge's patience is looking scared. Said I ain't selling, just spreading light. While my tip jar bled through Friday night, with my merch link coming under every clip, but that ain't business, just fellowship. Conspiracy, no, we don't conspire, we just all post same script around the same hour. Not a plan, just coincidence, sure. We all found the same figure seat on tour.
Hey, Shelly, good to see you. Oh, yeah. Hey, Marianne.
Oops, all wrong arguments, a casserole of legal nonsense. arguments, motion dressed like it passed the bar, but it smells like it came from a used tip jar. Oops, it ain't speech, it's just a griff, wrapped in hashtags and a judgment shift. Thought I'd dodge with just my view, but the court saw commerce in a lawsuit too. Speech was hyperbole, but forgot to tag their name for our CEO. Said it wasn't fraud, just some color for shade. Well, I picture go funny every time I play. Twice and stared at the floor like what fresh nonsense just hit my door. Should've stuck to puppet shows instead of neck deep in Plaintiffs' prose. This tall shut up and ran the food, but for now I'm just a punch over the lawsuit.
And here's the last one before we get the votes
Well,
in.
I showed up late with the motion in hand, wrote it on napkins with a half-baked plan, said this'll show 'em with a wink and a grin. The judge said, honey, where do I begin? I yelled defamation like a legal champ, but the claim weren't there, just a gaslight stamp. Barked at shadows and fought thin air. Turns out the complaint never put me there. Oops, all wrong arguments. Filed it loud with 0 cents. Quoting blogs like this code is law, and footnotes copied from my man-in-law. Oops, I'm dancing on a courtroom rug, spinning like a drunk on a Red Bull chug. Could've pled facts, but I chose a rant. Now the judge's patience is looking scant. Said I ain't selling, just spreading light, while my tip jar bled through Friday night, with my merch link humming under every clip. But that ain't business, just fellowship. Conspiracy, nah, we don't conspire. We just all post the same script around the same hour, not a plan. Just coincidence, sure, and we all found the same fake receipt on tour. Oops, all wrong arguments. A casserole of
For all you Bollywood fans, there you go. Got a little bit of Bollywood fans there.
Oops, it ain't speech, it's just a grift, wrapped in hashtags and a judgment shift. Thought I'd dodge with just my view, but the court saw commerce and a lawsuit too.
Hey, Alan Schaefer, good to see ya. Good to see ya. Hey, Cumulus, how you doing? Good to see ya. What's up? Hope you're having a good day today. It's a beautiful time to be out here enjoying life.
Speech was hyperbole,
yeah,
but
this
forgot
for
I
you.
tagged her name for SAO. Said it wasn't fraud, just some colorful shade, while I pitched a GoFundMe every time I played. Oops, all wrong arguments. Filed like I learned lots of
Hello,
Reddit threads.
Janice.
Judge looked twice, then stared at the floor like what fresh nonsense just hit my door. Oops, should've stuck to puppet shows instead of neck deep in Plaintiffs' prose. Next time I'll shut up and read the claim, but for now I'm just a punchline with a real long name.
All right, looks like we got our votes in, so let's see what the votes ended up with. Looks like number 3 is won altogether. And here we go. The polls are in, and number 3 is the one that got all the votes. Oh my. Oh, I came in at a good time. Yes, you did. Yes, deliverance theme. Oh, yeah. And, you know, we'll play a couple, just a little intros to the ones that didn't make it, which was this one.
Well, I showed up late with the motion in hand. Wrote on
This one didn't
napkins
make
with a
it.
half-baked plan. Said this will show 'em with a wink and a grin. Then the judge said, honey, where do I begin? I yelled defamation like a legal champ, but the
So that one didn't get played, and this one. That one didn't get played either. Yeah, isn't it weird how that happens?
well, I showed up late.
Yeah, that one didn't make it either. So those were two that didn't even make it, and we won't play the whole one. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna play number 3 for you, because that is the one that got all the votes, and that's the one that I'm gonna probably probably create a nice little video for it just for the fun of it, because why not? Here we go. We like a number 6 more. I understand, but see, we didn't have that one in there. Those were all good. They were all fun, and it's way too busy for my brain to deal with. Yeah, some of them can be really busy. So let's just enjoy number 3. And yeah, that's really all that's going to happen tonight. Probably just enjoy number 3 and chat with you guys for a little bit before I have to head out, hit the sleepy time, get a little rest, and do some I've got so much to do tomorrow. My day is going to be busy. It is going to be busy. So let's get this one here for you guys. Number 3, oops, all wrong arguments. Thank you guys so much for playing, and this has been fun. Here we go.
Well, I showed up late with the motion in hand, wrote it on napkins with a half-baked plan, said this will show him with a wink and a grin. Then the judge said, honey, where do I begin? I yelled defamation like a legal champ, but the claim weren't there, just a gaslight stamp. Barked at shadows and fought thin air. Turns out the complaint never put me there. Oops, all wrong arguments. Filed it loud with 0 cents. Quoting blogs like a SCOTUS law, and footnotes copied from a mag-in-law. Oops, I'm dancing on a courtroom rug, spinning like a drunk on a Red Bull chug. Could've pled facts, but I chose a rant. Now the judge's patience is looking scant. Said I ain't selling, just spreading light, while my tip jar bled through Friday night with my merch link humming under every clip. But that ain't business, just fellowship. Conspiracy, nah, we don't conspire. We just all post the same script around the same hour. Not a plan, just coincidence, sure. And we all found the same fake receipt on tour. Oops, all wrong arguments. A casserole of legal nonsense. Motion dressed it like it passed the bar, but it smells like it came from a used tip jar. Oops, it ain't speech, it's just a grift. Wrapped in hashtags and a judgment shift.
Jessica Kruger, good to see you, love.
The court saw commerce in a lawsuit too.
Talia was a rapper.
Said the speech was hyperbole, but forgot I tagged her name for SEO. Said it wasn't fraud, just some colorful shade, while I pitched a GoFundMe every time I played. Oops, all wrong arguments. File like I learned law from Reddit threads. Judge looked twice, then stared at the floor like, what fresh nonsense just hit my door? Oops, should've stuck to puppet shows. Instead I'm neck deep in plain prose. Next time I'll shut up and read the claim, but for now I'm just a punchline with a real long name.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Thank you guys so much. Foot tapping is good. Yeah, there's definitely some foot tapping stuff. I've got some other songs that I'm working on getting all of the finishing touches. So keep an eye out, because there should be another album dropping here very soon. Very soon. It should be coming out within the next, I would say, week. Yeah, it should be out. Appalachian Rap. There you go. Oh, this song is great. I bet Liz wants to be in this. I bet she would. Looks forward to the songs you're working on. Well, you have to understand that the album, I could tell you is going to be an absolute blast. And whenever you see the name of the album, it might sound offensive at first. It might sound offensive at first, but if you know, you know. That's the best part about it. Because if you know what it's all about, then you can go, I get it. And that should put a smile on your face. I would hope that it puts a smile on your face. And there's some of the songs that you've heard here quite a few times. And yeah, it's no, if you know, you know. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Trust me, it's gonna be good. The premise behind it is just to have some fun. Some fun. Let's bring some fun back to the YouTubes. I mean, it's all the drama side, all the serious drama, that can be really crazy. I will say that I am extremely thankful for all of you guys coming out enjoying this stuff, enjoying the streams, enjoying reading through the pleadings and the mockings and all of that stuff. It's just, it is so, I'm really, really blessed to have all of you guys here. And I thank each one of you for that. And let's just get back to the good stuff. And Colleen MC with the gifted membership. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you guys. Oh, this is going to be fun.
Welcome to the shit show.
Yes, it is on Spotify.
Every single day,
All my music is there.
I'm new
iHeartRadio.
and
the new album. I had to change the date on it.
Monday,
Tuesday, Wednesday, and 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, baldered, dash poppycock, ball up, sand fuckery, and all over again. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Colleen. And always remember, it is supposed to be fun. So everybody have a wonderful night. I will see you guys most definitely tomorrow. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot more stuff to go over tomorrow, and can't wait. Everybody, we'll see you guys very soon. Peace. Have a good night.
You thought I was done, bless your heart, but I'm still living rent-free, it's a work of art. Call me daddy, call me nut, call me the goat. You're paddling upstream while I'm running this boat. You say, I don't care, yet you're glued to the screen. Caught up in my glow while you stay unseen. Your shade's like a breeze, it's barely a draft. Meanwhile, I'm the Picasso of roasting your ass. You say you're over me, oh how cute, but here I am, still the star of your loop. You're my biggest fans, don't even deny. So grab some popcorn when daddy goes live. Live. Call me daddy, yeah, shout it loud. King of your thoughts, I'm making you proud. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, headline act. Your background noise, and that's just a fact. Let's face the score. You hate that you love me, but you keep wanting more. You're like a dog chasing cars, you don't know why. But here you are, barking while I touch the sky. Your comments are gold, such comedy gold. Who hurt you? Oh wait, it's me, I'm told. You're keeping tabs like an unpaid intern while I'm cashing checks. When will you learn? Your timeline's a shrine to every move I make. I'd say thanks, but you're a nasty skank. Oh, Shizzy's washed up. Yeah, sure, Jan, yet here I am, the centerpiece of your plan. You hate watch my stream like it's Oscar night, but guess what, kiddos? I'm still shining bright. Call me daddy. Send in your bread. I'm still rent-free in your effing head. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy on your brain. I'm your mental landlord, you can't complain. Let's keep it real. You hate that I'm winning, but you love how it feels. Oh, I'm sorry, did I break your streak? You tried to ignore me for like half a week, but daddy's too spicy, you can't look away. I'm the train wreck you need every single day. So while you're out there with your plastic clout, I'm here sipping coffee watching you freak out. You're irrelevant, wow, what a take. Now go rewatch my vids while I count how much I make. I count how much I make. Call me daddy, yeah, own it now. I'm reading your brain and you don't know how. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, let's set the bar. I'm the constellation, you're a burned out star. Embrace your role, cause I'm the main character. You're just an old ragged ass, burned out troll. So that's your bedtime story, kids tucked in sweet and snug. Shizzy Daddy's forever, you lose and you're stuck in the mud. Now say goodnight to Papa Nut, your mental pain. Oh wait, you will see me tomorrow's agenda, will see me tomorrow. Same obsession, same effing thing.